Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning for March 26, 2024, Auditor General resubmits 2 reports to Parliament for tabling. Auditor General Pamela Monroe Ellis has sent back to Parliament the 2 reports returned to her office by Speaker of the House Juliet Holness last week. The news was informed that the reports were sent back on Monday. There has been widespread commentary after the Auditor General disclosed that 2 reports that were sent to Parliament on December 28, 2023 and January 29 this year were returned to her department on Friday by the Speaker. The first report is a special audit of the Financial Services Commission, and the second, a special audit of Tax Administration Jamaica. The Auditor General did not give a reason for the return of the reports, but indicated that she would be dispatching them to Parliament on Monday. Her disclosure came after Jamaica Labour Party General Secretary Dr. Harris Chang on Friday said that there were no outstanding reports from either the Integrity Commission or the Auditor General awaiting tabling in Parliament. The news was informed that the reports were returned due to conflict with the provisions of the Financial Administration and Audit Act. Speaking with a journalist on Sunday, Opposition Leader Mark Golding said that the explanation of the government regarding the 2 reports must be rejected by the public.
Imagine 2 important special audit reports on the performance of 2 agencies, the Tax Administration Jamaica and the Financial Services Commission, a regulatory body that has gone through this whole SSS saga and had to have its whole leadership changed. That is what was sent to Parliament 2 months or more ago and was not tabled. And when I raised it, in order to pretend that I was not telling the truth and to mislead the public that I was not telling the truth, the reports were, after I spoke, sent back by the Speaker to the Auditor General, and then the Deputy Prime Minister says that I was telling a lie when it was absolutely true. Everything I said was true. There are 2 outstanding reports and they have not tabled them, and their machinations to avoid tabling them should not be accepted or tolerated by the people of Jamaica, and we're going to continue to hammer this home.
The news had quoted a government source who claimed that the 2 reports were referred by Parliament back to the Auditor General because they failed to comply with the law governing treatment of reports before they are submitted to the House of Representatives. But in a letter dated March 22, Speaker of the House of Representatives Juliet Holness accused the Clerk to the Houses, Valerie Curtis, of dereliction of duty. Mrs. Holness said in accepting reports from the Auditor General on December 28 and January 8, Ms. Curtis failed to comply with her ruling regarding the tabling of reports from the Auditor General and Integrity Commission. The Speaker's ruling was communicated to Parliament on November 7. Mrs. Holness has asked Ms. Curtis to prepare a schedule with the details of all reports received from the Integrity Commission and the Auditor General since her election as a Speaker on September 26, 2023. Civil society advocate Carl Narcisse has said that the country's parliamentary system seems to be counteracting with the measures it has established to improve oversight and public transparency. She contended that the current Speaker, Juliet Holness, and the former Speaker, Marisa Dalrymple Philibert, has seemingly deviated from what exists in law governing how reports are to be handled.
So rather than a direction that is seeking to move any and every roadblock out of tabling these reports quick and fast so that the public, media, everybody can begin to discuss them and see what's there, and the Parliament can discuss them and make whatever decisions are to be made to strengthen public bodies and so on, or to hold people to account. It doesn't seem as if that's the energy that we have putting behind things. So we need to know, and presumably the Speaker will advise us tomorrow, what's the nature of the report that have been sent back, and presumably too the Speaker will table before the House the advice that she is going off of, and presumably the Speaker will indicate what exactly is the deal here.
Old Harbour residents continue protest following police fatal shooting. Residents of Old Harbour Bay, St. Catherine, took to the streets for a third day to protest the fatal shooting of 23-year-old Nigeria Bailey and 21-year-old Daniel McKenzie on Saturday by the police. A group of angry residents on Monday morning mounted fiery roadblocks along sections of the terminal road calling for justice. Residents and relatives of the deceased insist both young men were killed in cold blood. The Jamaica Constabulary Forces Corporate Communications Unit told the news on Monday afternoon that the incident occurred about 1:40 Saturday afternoon. CCU said 2 firearms were seized, but Mr. Mackenzie's uncle gave a different account, arguing that his nephew was to be baptized soon and was a good worker who had manners to everybody. The uncle claimed that the Independent Commission of Investigations arrived late on the scene Saturday. Indicom revisited the area Monday and found spent casings.
Our forensics and investigative team is present. They are currently reprocessing the scene, or what we call a revisit. We have discovered 2 additional spent casings as well as a warhead that was found in the vicinity. Not uncommon, the scene was processed late at night, and because of that, we would have to do another check in the night. So that's where we are. While there are blockages on the road, it is still relatively calm. The residents are facilitating both police force as well as Indicom to have access to the location and to do the processing.
Senior Superintendent of Police Christopher Phillips, in charge of the St. Catherine South Division, said the officers will be working to rebuild the relationship with residents.
We're going to work with the community to restore that. They just need to give us the time to do so. The necessary has been done in terms of the police officers who were involved in that operation. And of course, they too are entitled to be properly heard, and that the investigative process is done professionally so that we can unearth the full truth about what took place.
The protest presented a challenge for employees of the Jamaica Public Service Company as well as other power companies located in the affected area. Some employees were airlifted by Jamaica Defence Force helicopter, but JPS Director of Corporation Communications, Winsome Callum, said due to the critical nature of the plant, contingent measures were put in place. Ms. Callum said the power company's ability to provide electricity to the nation has not been compromised. Health Ministry condemns reported racist remarks about UK MP by contractor. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has joined with the diaspora in condemning recently reported racist, sexist, and violent remarks about a Jamaican and United Kingdom Member of Parliament Diane Abbott made by head of the Phoenix Partnership Frank Hester. In February 2023, TPP was contracted to implement Jamaica's electronic health records. This contract with the government of Jamaica was undertaken after TPP's selection as the most suitable firm following the due process of an international procurement transaction involving the IDB. Subsequent to the award of this contract, the Ministry of Health and Wellness learned of this incident, the Health Ministry said in a statement yesterday. Following consultation with the IDB, co-financier of the contract, and the Attorney General's chambers, the Ministry of Health and Wellness continues its monitoring of developments in this matter, which is now the subject of a police investigation. The ministry continued, the Ministry of Health and Wellness takes this matter very seriously and calls for appropriate action to be taken within the firm to hold Mr. Hester accountable based on the findings from the investigations. The Ministry of Health and Wellness condemns any form of discriminatory behavior, including racism and sexism. The Ministry of Health and Wellness remains committed to promoting a culture of respect, equality, and understanding within the Ministry of Health and Wellness and throughout our business relationships. Family launches GoFundMe to bury former Jamaican jockey who died after punch. The family of former Jamaican jockey Carlisle Thomas, who died after being punched by a tow truck driver during an altercation, has launched a GoFundMe to raise US $12,000 to assist with funeral and other expenses. So far, the fund has raised just over US $1,100. Valerie Simmons, Thomas's daughter, told the news that the family is struggling with the loss of her father. "I used to enjoy myself with my dad. I am just trying to preserve myself," she said. Simmons added that the family was grateful to the community that has been mourning her father, pointing out that he left an impact on everyone, far and near. Thomas, who was born in Kingston, was a jockey at the Caymanas Park before migrating to the United States in 1994. The 61-year-old died after being punched, falling and hitting his head during the altercation with a tow truck driver in Brooklyn. According to reports, Thomas usually parked his motor vehicle at a gas station on Clarkson Avenue near Rockaway for a fee of $10. However, around 8:45 p.m. on March 16, someone at the gas station called a tow truck to remove Thomas's vehicle. According to police reports, Thomas, finding out that his vehicle was being towed, attempted to stop the removal. During the ensuing altercation, the tow truck driver, 30-year-old Kevin Johnson, who has since been arrested for assault, punched Thomas in the face. He fell and, on being rushed to the hospital, was pronounced dead. Thomas's death has sparked outrage in the community. Simmons has called for the gas station to be shut down. If lives are being lost over $10, why should they make money here? She asked, according to news reports. Jermaine Thomas, the ex-jockey's son, told a television station that he just wanted his father back. Thomas was a father, grandfather, and a well-known community member.